All right, man, the Giants are here. We talked about it this whole offseason and heading into the season. The first two games were crucial if we want to get some winning games under our belt, because now we're in the tough stretch of games. And the first game we're kicking off with is going to be against the Browns. The Browns right now are 1-1, and the Giants are sitting at 0-2, losing to a couple teams that, I thought they would have had a chance to win. And now we're sitting at 0-2, facing this tough gauntlet of teams, and the Browns are definitely not a team to overlook, man. We're going to be diving into the key matches for this game, and if there's any way the Giants are going to win, they're going to have to get these three things down. And let's dive straight into it, man. So the first thing we want to talk about is the Browns defense. The Browns defense is something that's been carrying them for the past couple years, and when you look at it, they're talented on each level on that defense. I think the linebackers kind of where they can get had, but that front four, especially with Myles Garrett being one of the most, in my opinion, dominant, defenders in the game. When you look at, the production he puts up at the edge rusher position, guys like his size shouldn't be able to move that quickly, and Myles Garrett, has always been a force ever since they drafted him into this league. And he's a premier pass rusher, defensive player of the year candidate every single year. Myles Garrett is just a beast, man. Now, I'm looking to see how he's going to hold up against Andrew Thomas. As we know, Andrew Thomas is a top left tackle in this league, and so far this year he's looked great. He's been healthy. Hopefully he stays healthy. And Myles Garrett does have a lingering injury, but it's looking like he's going to play. And once again, if that guy's on the other side of the field, man, I hope he pairs up with Andrew Thomas, but I could definitely see him sliding over on trying to get past John Illuminor. Illuminor has been doing good, but I don't think he's, been as good as Andrew Thomas on the left side, of course, holding it down. So that's going to be pretty telling. Our offense going against their defense, because listen, our offense without even a good defense kind of seems handicapped, let's be honest. Now, they did pick up a little bit of steam last week against the Commanders. We scored 3 touchdowns, and some people were thinking, man, 3 touchdowns sounds like a hike for us, but we were able to do that. That was against a bad Commanders defense. This Browns defense is a lot better. When we look at it at the DB standpoint, they got Greg Newsome, and they also have Denzel Ward out there, and you could possibly see them trying to neutralize Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers came onto the scene last game, 130 yards, a touchdown, 10 receptions. I definitely think that every defense is going to be accounting for Malik Nabers and trying to limit him from getting the ball, because he was our offense. Let's be honest. Now, we did run the ball well last week. This is a more talented front, and I'm looking to see how our offensive line improves against that D line, because the offensive line has been, A+ for us so far, especially considering what we had to deal with last year. So it's good to see at least good offensive line play. Now, we do have to see it in these tough games coming up against tough defenders. Once again, guys like Myles Garrett is going to be on that side. Dalvin Tomlinson, a familiar foe, is going to be at the D tackle position, and they all have some rotating guys. I believe the old edge rusher from the Packers is over there, Zadarius Smith. He was also on the Vikings as well. Zadarius Smith is out there at the edge rusher position. Not what he was, but he still is in this league for a reason. And once again, man, Brian Daboll, what do you got schemed up? What do you have schemed up to try to take advantage of any little thing that the Browns are able to offer us? I think we're going to have to lean on the run game if we're expecting to do anything. Now, the Giants have ran the ball pretty well, but it's been noted, we're trying to, pass the ball. We signed this quarterback to a big deal. We're trying to move down the field and take big shots. We're going to have to hit on some of those. Dan Jones was 0 for 4 against the Commanders. And once again, the Commanders didn't have no household names at the DB position, and the Browns do. The Browns have some decent safety with Grant Delpit. And you also got, once again, those DBs that are out there. So the Giants are going to have to, live off of some big plays, but also take what they can give them. Rush the ball for 4 or 5 yards a pop, try to see if you can get that going. If the run game's not going, man, it could get ugly, and I hope it doesn't, because our quarterback sometimes likes to get rattled, and when he's rattled, man, the offense just can't move in general. Malik Nabers was running wide open last week. I'm looking to see if that can be a thing this week. Scheme up a couple different routes like you did last week and try to get this man open, because as we know, we just got to get the ball in his hands. I spoke on my last video. Get the ball in his hands and just let him go to work. I don't need it to be 30, 40 yards down the field. I want it to, and I want my quarterback to make those throws. But let Malik Nabers go to work. There's no reason he shouldn't have at least 10 targets in this game, no matter who's on the side of him. He needs to get targeted. We need to get him going in this game. And once again, man, sustaining drives is the key piece. Last week, we had a fumble. We didn't have a kicker, so we're not settling for field goals. We're missing on 4th down. We have no opportunity for that. We have to be able to take advantage of what the defense gives us, and this Giants team needs to be effective. That defense, as much as they weren't good against the Commanders last week, they were on the field the whole time, and they weren't able to get off the field. They were tired. That's not the offense's fault. That's definitely the defense's fault, so they need to step up for themselves. And let's switch right on to the other side, man. Deshaun Watson is the quarterback for the Browns, and Deshaun Watson had a bounce-back week last week because week 1 looked rough. And let's be honest, Deshaun Watson, ever since he went over there, it's been a little rough for him. It's not been easy. Again, that huge contract, fully guaranteed contract, that's got to be looking like one of the worst up there with Daniel Jones. But, all they want is at least decent quarterback play to make it to the playoffs, because once again, that defense is real on the other side. So Deshaun Watson with guys like Amari Cooper on that side of the ball. They also traded for Jerry Jeudy. They have a couple different weapons, but the quarterback needs to get the ball to them. The offensive line hasn't looked too great for them. So we need, once again, this is 3 games in a row, we need our pass rushes to get there. Kayvon, Brian Burns, we need them to really hit home this game, because last game, there was a high pressure rate, but I believe Jaden Daniels was a little bit inexperienced, and that's a reason why there was a couple sacks and a couple different pressures. We need them to step up and really try to, force and push the pocket on Deshaun Watson. Past couple weeks, he's been getting pressured, and, he made a couple plays last week, but week 1, once again, he didn't look good. If you pressured him, he did not look good. Some of his decision making was a little off, so we need to be able to throw him off cadence, because once again, our DBs right now, it's not the strongest suit of our team. Deonte Banks has looked good so far. He's gonna have a tall task with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is still one of the top receivers in the league easily. He's kind of underrated a bit. But looking at the other weapons on there and the other DBs, man, Cordell Flott has not looked too good. Adoree Jackson has barely played. Nick McLeod's coming off of injury. Listen, the DB position, we talked about it. It's still gonna be an issue. So this front four and our linebackers need to help. Last week when they were blitzing, it did hit home a bit. I'm looking to see if they're able to scheme up some of those things this week, and I think we didn't blitz enough last week. So maybe that's something we want to do to disgruntle Deshaun Watson, kind of throw him off his game. That's what we need to do, man. On the back end, you already know Tyler Newman and Jason Pinnock. Jason Pinnock got bullied by Zach Ertz last week, but Tyler Newman kind of held his own. I'm looking to see somebody make a play this week. We need some type of turnover. Not, taking advantage of a rookie quarterback and getting a turnover, for me, is one of the biggest reasons why we lost last week. Deshaun Watson might not give you anything, but you need to try to force a turnover any way you can. And, that running game can still be a running game for them. They got Jerome Ford out there still, running the rock, and it's not Nick Chubb, but he can still, make a couple plays on you, especially considering what happened against last week. We have not been able to stop the run a peep, man. Brian Robinson had a career day. They were running all over the field on us. It could get ugly if we let them do that again. The defensive line and Shane Bowen, he said he was going to stop the run on the way to the passer. We're not doing either right now. So Shane Bowen got to do something, man. Special teams, normally this isn't a segment, but this week it is. We signed Greg Joseph. He's going to be our kicker heading into this game. I'm glad we actually have a kicker on the roster. That should help alleviate things a bit, because even if we can't get 6 in the end zone, at least settle for a field goal. Last week we didn't have the opportunity to do any of those things. So hopefully the Giants are able to key in on those things. Let's run the ball. Let's get after Deshaun Watson. And once again, let's play conservative. Play conservative in the sense of keeping the chains moving. I don't want to see no crazy taking shots every other play. Last week we only took 4 deep shots, but it never really hit. We got to be at least a little bit in cadence and try to get something against this Browns defense. So once again, you got to take whatever they give you. They're a team that's going to be matched up man-to-man with their DBs on our wide receivers, very talented DBs, and they also have a front four to get after you. You might have to see a lot of checkdowns in this game, but as long as we're keeping the chains moving, that's what we need, man. This offense, once again, we haven't seen it rolling yet, but we're going to see where we really stand up against this Browns defense. If I'm going to say if there's a score prediction, I'm going to be honest, man. This is the first one I'm saying the Giants are probably not walking out with a W, man. We've seen what this team is so far. It's very disgruntling. It's very annoying. But if I'm going to say a score prediction, it's going to be 28-14. 28-14, Giants put up 2 touchdowns, and the Browns put up 28 points. Once again, man, until the Giants prove that they can beat a team, I don't know if we'll be able to pick them against anybody. Hopefully we see huge improvements, and walking away with Malik Neighbors last game was a plus. Hopefully we have a couple different guys that we're walking away with after this game and feeling, at least a little bit happy about the future. While some people are actually rooting for losses so we can get a quarterback. That can't be me, but I got to be realistic with my team, man. Y'all let me know what's your score prediction down in the comments, man. Subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. We will be live tomorrow night. Make sure you pull up Friday night at 7. We will be live streaming. Make sure you pull up when we're talking about the game previews and everything you have on the Giants, man. I'll catch you on the next one. Go Big Blue. Peace.